Ruff, ruff. Welcome, Indie Warriors, to I Dream of Indie. It's old Joe McGruff. No, just kidding. It's just old Gamer Joe here, bringing you another review as we look at Grapple Dog on the Nintendo Switch. Grapple Dog is a 2D platformer, and it is the first game published by Super Rare Originals, so congratulations to them. And essentially what you have here is a loving tribute to a lot of games of the past, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Donkey Kong Country, with the added element of a grappling hook, of course. In Grapple Dog, you play as a loving, cute little puppy named Pablo, who's on a quest to stop the evil robotic Lord Null. Luckily, Pablo won't have to go it alone, though, as he has a magical boat full of friends that will help him along the way. Well, they'll sort of help him. The game is broken up into 6 different worlds across 33 levels in total, and I have to say, it's really cute the way they tell this story. Sort of a classic Super Nintendo style here. You get some text and dialogue between these characters. Especially cute is the fact that these characters all have little noises that they make when they do talk to one another. So Pablo, for example, will kind of bark out his lines. It's absolutely adorable. The story is cute and charming, yes, but why do we really play 2D action platformers? Because they're fun, of course, and Grapple Dog actually is pretty fun, despite the fact that I have a few issues with it. First off, credit Grapple Dog for accessibility options. It does a pretty good job in this department. You have the ability to turn on the option of no damage, which means you won't actually be hurt by any of the enemies or hazards that you come across. Luckily, this game's not really that challenging, so it wasn't necessary for me anyways, but it is a nice option for younger gamers. You can also turn on an infinite jump. Again, if you have any experience with these style of games, you probably won't need these options, but it's nice that they're here. Getting around in Grapple Dog is not very complex at all. You have the analog stick to move your character or the digital pad if you so wish. You can also jump and wall jump just as you might expect. The wall jumping feels pretty good in this game. Pablo also has a stamina meter which will help him to carry more momentum forward when it's full. You can hold down a button to charge this quicker. And as is the case with many 2D platformers, you have a butt slam. Hop into the air and push the A button to slam on down to bust through blocks, land on enemies, and eventually bounce off of objects as well. Here's where Grapple Dog stands out. It's with that grappling hook. Certain objects can be highlighted, and with a press of the Y button, you'll latch on with your grappling hook and propel upward. This can lead to a lot of fun platforming where you're bouncing about, swinging. You have momentum here where you can swing from left to right. It's a big part of the game, and luckily it works really great. While overall, this is a mechanically sound platformer, some of the jumping did feel a little bit on the floaty side to me, particularly when trying to land on enemies. I would often miss, or trying to hit my targets while in the air. That was just a hair off. It wasn't a big deal though. Something else that I thought would have spiced up the gameplay a little bit and have been really cool is after completing a boss, each world does have a boss at the end. I thought it would be nice if you got a new ability of sorts, but that's usually not the case. This could have spiced things up a bit, maybe give Pablo an attack or something different outside of the standard grappling. That just doesn't happen enough. Each of the game's worlds does a good job of feeling unique from the last, so I have to credit the game there, and there's a good amount to collect in each world as well. There are optional bonus rounds that can be found. These are actually a lot of fun. There's plenty of fruits for you to try to collect, and of course there are gems, which really is the main idea of this game, to collect as many gems as possible in order to either try to get 100% completion or just to advance forward. You will need a set number of these gems in order to take on each world's boss. You can actually skip some levels too if you've gathered enough gems. Some of these gems are easy enough to find, while others are a little bit tricky, but the game does go back into the same bag of tricks more often than not, with a hidden invisible wall that you walk through in order to find the gem. Still, plenty to collect, actually a pretty big game that will take you several hours if you are going for that 100% completion, and there's even time trials to go back through levels if you want to challenge yourself and get better and better at them. I would say generally that the level design is pretty good. I like the flow and rhythm that some of these levels provide. I think there's good variety, not a ton of different enemies, but there's enough where you won't necessarily feel bored. And overall, the game is really quite fun. If you love 2D platformers, you're definitely going to enjoy this one, or at least find a few things that you like about it. The charming overworld map is just part of the visual presentation that I absolutely loved. Very cute pixel art style here, nothing new or original necessarily, but done to a very good effect. Enemies are cute, Pablo is of course cute, the whole thing is rather adorable actually. I like that there is a theme to each world just courses you would expect. Pretty generic ones. You have fire, you have snow and ice, that kind of thing, but enjoyable nonetheless. Overall, I really did like the visuals of this game. I think the sound is quite good too. It definitely reminded me of a Genesis game. Unfortunately, the same tracks will loop ad nauseum, and I was really tired of hearing them. You know, the levels can be kind of long, and when each level more or less has the same theme within a world, you get a bit burnt out on it. They're good, but they are repetitive. In the end though, I felt mostly positive about Grapple Dog. It has solid mechanics that get the job done. There are some frustrations with some of the platforming, but overall it's a fun romp that will last you quite a few hours. It has a cute story, it has a nice visual presentation. A little bit disappointing on the Nintendo Switch version is the fact that I would get some random hitches from time to time. It wasn't super frequent, but when it happened, it was really quite annoying. It actually even cost me some damage or to lose my momentum at times, so that's a bit of a bummer. The game also did flat out crash on me when I landed on a spike once, and there were a few other glitches where the spikes actually weren't appearing, but I was still taking damage from what looked like a wall. But overall, Grapple Dog is good fun with a unique grappling mechanic that was mostly enjoyable to use. Thank you so much for watching the latest video from I Dream of Indie. We would now like to take a moment to pay tribute to our great indie warriors who support us through channel memberships. Build C, Christian Cruz, Kevilo, Mitchell Hall, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Adriana Amato, CJR, C Coil, Skepticism, Haley, Julian Kolbish, Jen Rose, Jesse, CPM, Bunny, JRS the 8th, Ray Lynn, Marky Mint, Dave Hart, Peekaboo, Lex Noyle, Eric, PSC, Adrian Garcia, King of the Hatch, Carmine Red, and Larkison. Thank you so much for all you do for independent developers, publishers, and for I Dream of Indie. Everybody else, please head down to the description box below. Let's defeat the gaming echo chamber and bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.